Libertarian communism is also known, particularly in Latin countries, by the name of anarchist communism. It is not. On the contrary, the two words are a contradiction in terms. Communism signifies a social condition in which the means of production and all material goods belong to the mass of the people who identify themselves with the totality or majority of society. Everyone has their goods disposed of according to the way decided by those who govern and whose law all must obey. Anarchy signifies the absence of government, that is to say, a state of things in which the individual is not held in obedience to anyone, lives as he pleases, and is limited only by the extent of his power. He uses moral and material goods in the particular manner he prefers, without having to get the approval of his fellows. One hypothesis has it that the universal realization of anarchy would return man to nature. It would create an equilibrium, however unstable, between individuals who, urged on by the free life, the need to survive, and strengthened by struggle, would be able to contain each other and live without government. Communism, on the other hand, even if it is not authoritarian and Marxist, but libertarian and Kropotkinist, would be a society in which the legislative and executive power would be exercised either by headless mass assemblies, populism, or by delegates elected by the masses, democracy. Both of these would mean that the individual would always be governed by the many, and this would be a government worse than any other, whether by one or a few, because the mass is stupid, ferocious, tyrannical, and worse than the lowest individual. How could libertarian communism be brought about? It could be by means of absolute conformism to the industrial machinist society that man has already achieved. This would reduce all to a mechanical equality, feeling, thinking, and acting identically, in this way making control and repression by the state unnecessary. Then there would be a standardized anarchy. Or it could be by means of a new organization, individuals united by categories into federations, the federations into communes, the communes into regions, the regions into nations, the nations into the international. At the head of each a directive council invested with the authority and power to make itself respected by any individual dissenting from the decision of the majority. Hence, a state that would not call itself a state, but would be one nonetheless, complete with a hierarchy, laws, and police. Libertarian communism is no more than a system of federalism, and like all social systems, would oppress the individual with moral and judicial restraints. Only the superficiality of a Proudhon could give such a system the name of anarchy, which on the contrary means the negation of all government by ideas or by men. Anarchists are opposed to authority both from below and from above. They do not demand power for the masses, but seek to destroy all power and to decompose these masses into individuals who are masters of their own lives. Anarchy is the aggregation of innumerable and varied forms of life lived in solitude or in free association. It is not by organising into parties that one struggles for anarchy, nor by mass action, which, as has been shown, overthrows one barracks only to create another. It is by the revolt of individuals, alone or in small groups, who oppose society, impede its functioning, and cause its disintegration. Thank you for listening, everyone. All the best.